Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Well, the Acolyte is all the rage. Let me ask you this. If the Acolyte was a video game, if you could play any character, who would you play, number one? And who would be the first one you would kill? Man, some people really hate this show. I've been waiting, to talk about it. I'm a Star Wars fan, but what's going on now in the Star Wars world is a trip. It really is. It has people going to the extremes on both sides. And unfortunately for a lot of people that to claim to be more conservative, a lot of men are acting in a very feminine way. And it's funny when they don't even perceive it, right? Nothing is more feminine than talking about other people, gossiping, right? It's one thing to talk about the work, like you did a shitty job doing X, or this show is whatever, but they get into the minutia of the personal lives of the people, right? I can look at an actress and just say she's mediocre without attacking anything else. I'm trying to judge her performance on the screen. Now, my evaluation of the show is just that it's mediocre. It underperforms for the money that's being spent on it. That's just my opinion, but that is what they've done for the last few shows, right? Other than the first Mandalorian. I think once Gina Carano was gone, that was kind of it for me, right? Because I knew it was going to turn just a certain way, but it's not that serious, man. You guys, there's people out here that talk about more about these series that they're actually getting laid properly, and it shows, right? Getting this worked up. Let me tell you guys, for those of you who are true Star Wars fans out there, let me tell you, it's always been bullshit. Let me tell you why. Not a single clone was ever Mexican. Not one Hispanic in there. Not one Central American. Not one for South America. You're going to tell me that you do all this construction and there's not a single one? If you were going to clone workers, wouldn't those be the ones you could clone? We show up to work every day, man. I'm grinding overtime on my days off. That's why you want Hispanics on the job site. We get shit done. You're trying to tell me about you're gonna clone SJWs to get shit done? They start crying about working an 8-hour shift at Starbucks. Come on, man. So Star Wars has always been fake, right? The first time we saw that, probably if back in the 70s, and if you were white, you didn't realize it, but we knew, right? In the barrio, we knew this is absolute horseshit. These clones aren't doing the toilets. These clones aren't doing the electrical. They're certainly not doing the drywall. That's for fucking sure. They're not getting down and building foundations, and certainly not the goddamn roofing. So it's all horseshit for us from the word go, right? Well, let's talk about the inclusivity here, because this is really the ridiculous part. What did Cartman say? Put a chick in her and make her gay, and they do exactly that. I mean, that has to be the funniest shit ever. That one show's going to be legendary. And they can't get out of their own way, but the whole thing is ridiculous. Guys, look, if fucking Weinstein's assistant was a white dude, he would never have gotten this show. I'm being a complete cynic here, but I'm absolutely right. You think that this woman's gender change had to do anything with the fact that she was this guy's assistant and probably knew what the hell was going on? If that was a man, let me tell you, they would have never gotten this opportunity. That's a fact. That's a freaking fact, right? So where's the diversity in that? In all these studios, there's just all this bullshit diversity. Where are the Hispanics at? Where's the Hispanic women's at? You can't find one anywhere. You can't find them anywhere. You know who's getting the jobs? White people that color their hair. Now that's fucking fake diversity, right? I can speak to you from a Hispanic perspective, right? We don't feel it's very diverse. Where's the Mexican Jedi with the green light? I'm telling you, man. Salvadorian Central American Jedis would be a lot shorter. Man, but you know, just enjoying watching the shit show from afar for me is enjoyable. You know, the irony of having these men claiming that they're real men, you know, and conservative, engage in fucking gossip. It's just fucking unreal. Real men don't do that shit. I don't care what, you know, somebody's doing behind the scenes. I don't give a shit about their business. I mean, it's different if they're talking about you, but I'm sure the people at Star Wars are not addressing you directly. Oh, but they brought up race. Okay, well, you can criticize their thing about race, you know, whatever. They, you know, those people see everything through the eyes of race. And if they say something about race and you don't want to criticize that, that's fine. But, you know, and I'm not saying all shows do this, but some of them do go beyond the pale of the critique of the show, right? And if these people are melting down because the show is horrible, you know, it happens, you know. There's a lot of shows that I wish were better, man, and turn out to be just lame. But I have to say, episode 5, I didn't hate it. I think the fight scenes were okay. I think they, you know, if you really want me to get into the show, I think they make a mistake by revealing who the Sith is too early. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. I think the part where the bots kind of took the Sith away, I think that was kind of dumb, to tell you the truth. But the fight scenes themselves, I think they acquitted themselves pretty well. It wasn't the worst that I've seen, for sure. Absolutely not the worst fight scenes, for sure. It was no Duel of the Fates, but it wasn't the worst. I can say that. I think people are having fun talking more about the Acolyte than actually watching the series. And I can see most people not watching it, and the people who hate watch it over and over again. It's going to be funny in the end if this thing actually makes money because people are hate watching it, or it just becomes a cult classic that you can make fun to. But who knows? You know, maybe somebody out there will make a really good video game, and then you can tell your own story out there. Because the acting, let me just say, it's been mediocre. I think Master Soul has been a highlight for me, right? I think he carries his scenes. I think the Sith, you know, did his job well, you know, as far as the fight scenes. He doesn't write the script, of course, but I think the choreography of the fight scenes was decent. I think the girl that played Wolverine's daughter acquitted herself very well. I think she has a future in doing action scenes, particularly. She's very agile, and you know, she started off weak, you know, in her fight scenes a little bit, but then, you know, when she fought against the Sith, I think she did herself a service there as far as getting future acting jobs and action jobs, you know. So we'll see where it ends, you know. I mean, the whole thing is a big joke, but who knows, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future. Is it my favorite Star Wars? Absolutely not. I think episode 4, the scissoring, as they call it, was like a bad Star Trek imitation show. The music was so lame. You know, it just, the script was bad. You could tell these are amateurs, you know, working on the show that don't follow Star Wars, and with such a fervent fan base. I mean, you really have to hit the nail on the head. You can't be getting amateurs to do this type of work. You can be diverse, but there's so many people out there that could have done a better job of this. That's the real shame here. In the end, it's always about fake diversity. You know, they can cry diversity all they want, that they're trying to do this, trying to do that, but at the end of the day, all they're doing is, you know, hiring more white women with colored hair, and the Latinas and the blacks behind the scenes, and everybody else, you You know, they really just get token appreciation. But the real money is still going to the same place. All right, humans, those are my thoughts. Everybody's nuts. Episode 5 wasn't that bad. Episode 4 was completely a disaster. And the series just meh, like the rest of Disney has done. You know, weak acting, weak storylines, not very good writing. Overall, a mediocre job. All right, humans, that was the review of episode 5. I didn't hate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.